Yes, welcome back to Umineko. That's right, just once in the past I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. I accepted that the only power that could save me from those sad painful days at St. Lucia Academy was a thing called magic, and I received Mariah's introduction to the basics. Imagine a vast space, a scene from when I looked down at the mountain's base and the rest up at the peak. Imagine a vast space, a scene from when I looked down at the mountain's base and the rest up at the peak like this. I projected that scene from my memory into my mental world. Normal girls get over their fascination with magical girls when I leave elementary school, so seriously training to use magic at this age was embarrassing even for me. But even that embarrassed feeling felt pleasant to me now. Right now I was learning mental concentration from Mariah Oni-chan in order to use magic, but it wasn't going very well. It was about as hopeless as teaching a person to wiggle their ears by showing them. It seems that you need to imagine a vast space to gain that mental concentration for using magic. So I remember the time from my younger days when my family had gone on a small vacation, when I had looked down towards the base from viewing the platform at the rest stop on the peak. And I tried painting the scene for my mental world. No, still far too small. Imagine a much water space and create your own mental world. Your image is still way too foggy. There's no temperature in the air, and there's no wind, no smells either. The world is still very faint. You can leave those for later, so for now imagine an even water space. Why do you have to imagine a vast space? From the time of their birth, you must have inside of them a toxin that blocks magic. If that toxin isn't purified, you can't use magic well. One effective method of achieving this is to imagine a vast space. Just now, I thought of a world as seen from the window of an airplane, but that didn't work. I can't even think of a world more vast than that. In that case, Mariah has just as a teacher hinge about the vast world Mariah has. It won't make it easy for you to imagine as well. Uriyu. That's right, I'm interested in what kind of magic Oni-chan imagines. What she uses in magic, I'll use it for reference. Ooh, that won't work. The mental world must be vast and isolated, and a world with no obstructions other than yourself. So if you teach someone about that world, it won't be isolated anymore. That's why you mustn't reveal your mental world to anyone, and if you draw up a good mental world, you must keep it as your secret only for yourself. Uriyu, so stingy, Mariah, thinks Sakutaro. I guess there are no shortcuts in training. I'll make an effort. It's okay. I've been given plenty of hints. Urium, do your best, Ange. Until recently, I thought there was no way spin like magic could save me. After all, magic does exist in this world, but that kind of thing is supposedly nothing more than an illusion, a delusion of the daydream. However, Mariana Chen showed that she could fill her own world with happiness using a power that's impossible for me. I used to look down on the happiness as something empty. Because I didn't believe in magic, I also denied everything else, refusing to believe in the happiness that magic gave birth to. But slowly, bit by bit, Marioni Chair's world grew happier. In the past, I disparaged it, thinking it too pitiful to look at. But that might be nothing more than jealousy. I was forced to admit that. And now this was our first step in search for happiness. A vast space, a dry wind that could blow without being blocked by anything. Let me feel that wind blowing through my own hair. I see even the ground might get in the way as I am now. Then I don't need a ground. Brush the ground away downwards. In other words, it's as though I floated up, leaving the ground far behind. After pushing the ground further and further downwards, the ground grew foggy and faint. For the first time, it began to feel like the sky. Then I understand its vastness. In that instant, I felt the vivid wind go right through even my body. In other words, blowing through me without any resistance. Yes, maintain that sensation. Yeah, I get it. I get that being released from all hindrances. You did it, Ange. You did it. You're taking your first step into the world of witches. This is the world of witches. Yeah, so let's try practicing the magic that you've always wished for, Ange. Magic that'll summon friends, and magic that'll create allies who'll save you from your loneliness and thereby bring you happiness. Will Ange also be summoning friends like me? As she is now, it's still far too early for Ange to summon friends like Sakutaro from the Sea of Zero. To begin, let's start by practicing with friends that are easy to summon. What will we start with? Because you're a witch of marriage, sorcier. You are also permitted to use those employed by other witches in the alliance. For example, Sakutaro's my friend, but since you're in the same alliance, use your friend too, and you can summon him. You want to try summoning Sakutaro one of these days? When you're so lonely it gets tough, I'm sure Sakutaro will cheer you up. I see you could call Sakutaro to being employed by Oni-chan. As a witch in the same alliance as her, it's possible for me to summon Sakutaro too. Man, Sakutaro's gaze, how pleasant it would be to have him just be there by my pillow. so he could talk to me about take me a bit on lonely nights. If I call you out, will you appear and talk to me? Uri, I can't wait to be summoned by you, Ange. Uri. Looking happy, Secretary pressed his head against me like a cat. Suddenly, getting a cute younger brother felt like a bit confusing, a bit embarrassing, a bit nice. Unable to understand why I couldn't honestly accept this feeling, I felt tears welling up in my eyes. Right, I'll give it a chance. I'll give it all I got on each hand. Then let's practice. Let's try summoning the future of Beatrice, a witch from the same alliance. Beatrice's furniture. Hearing Beatrice's name gave me a slightly strange feeling. When it came to the crown on Okanchima, the public kept going on and on in a frenzy about how it was a sacrifice ceremony performed by a witch. And when that witch was Beatrice, so if the witch did commit that crime, that would make her the culprit who stole my family from me. However, Mariah only Chen said that Beatrice was a good witch. If I held negative emotions towards Beatrice, she'd get mad, lead into a nasty fight, and refuse to talk for a while. At this moment, Oni-chan was my only close friend, so to avoid worsening her mood, I decided to think of Beatrice as nothing more than Oni-chan's magic teacher. Also, I believe that the crown was a conspiracy cooked up by an Eva. I would definitely expose the truth about that someday. And obstructions are entering your body again. Sorry I lost my concentration one more time. I expect no less from you, Oni-chan. You instantly noticed that I was being overcome with idle thoughts. And just shaking my head just once, I imagined the wind blowing through a vast space. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory, that's a pretty creepy name. But they're very energetic and fun kids. They might become your new friends, Ange. First, I'll show you how to summon them. Watch. Mariah Oni-chan lifted both hands up to the level of her head and quietly unified her mind. The state I was unable to reach except by meditating for a long period of time, she reached in the span of a few quick breaths. And then pale light began to gather in her palms, and one by one, the girls began to show themselves. 1, 2, 3 people, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. The way they were summoned one after another in line was a masterpiece. Incredible, just like the illustrations of Oni-chan's grimoire, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. The younger sisters were behind the eldest, Lucifer, who saluted Oni-chan. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory right here, Lady Mariah, has been quite some time. Yes, long time no see. Is everyone well? We find unsure of what we are because we are used to us being summoned after so long. It's truly an honor. Kia, Secretaro, it's been so long. You look as cute as ever. Me first. Kia, today so fluffy, squishy, and cute. Let me hug him too. You can't breathe. I won't run away, so let go of me, everyone. Hey, you all. Are you trying to break Lady Mariah's furniture? Anyway, get away from him. Hugging is prohibited. Even though you're saying that, looks like you would hug him the most in me. Yeah, it's not like I have any inches or something so fluffy and squishy, cuddly. Hey, we saw in the presence of Lady Mariah and Ange Sama, you foolish sisters. They were so energetic, I was shocked by their sudden burst of activity right after they appeared. And on top of that, I was surprised that the innocent secretary was on such good terms with the Seven Sisters. That's unexpected to think Secretary would be so loved by such shady people. They were fellow members of the same alliance, so there's nothing to be scared of, right? But on the off chance that their mood worsens, it looks like they could finish Secretary off in an instant. It's alright, the witches of the alliance and their furniture are old friends, so Secretary can play without worrying. Of course, that goes for you and me too, Ange. It was one of the pacts of marriage, sorcier, mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Remember, witches must respect each other's magic and creations, even the sisters who are normally shitty and belligerent. What? I didn't even press enter on that guy, sorry, it just went by itself. That's weird. Anyway, so to the Seven Sisters, Secretary is a mutual friend. He was loved by all of them, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. The scene as they squeezed him and loved him as is a bit charming. See, they're fellow members of marriage, so here after all. At a glance, you think the Secretary's casual atmosphere and the Seven Sisters shitty. One would be all like water and oil. Looked like they definitely can't be compatible, and yet they were interacting in a friendly way like it was completely natural. Is this wonderful alliance could join all the peoples of the world together? I wonder if everyone in the world would be able to become friends right away. All you Seven Sisters listen right now, and just in the middle of magic training, so everyone to lend their power. Certainly, Lady Mariah, but what specifically? The magical power materializing you will move from me to Ange, and instead I want you to be by her side all the time. You just have to talk with her. My apologies, but I wonder if Ange Summon's magical power will be able to easily summon all 7 of us around the clock. The older sister Lucifer gazed at my complexion as she advised us, speaking reservedly. In other words, she was saying that the burden might be heavy for me at this point in time. this kind of training it is, and just more talent and magic than anyone imagines. It'll be pretty tough, but I think it's worth it for Ange to take this challenge as she is now. And starting now, move the magic power, materializing them over to you. In other words, they'll become as though you had summoned them. So what Mario and John is trying to say was something like this: to keep the Seven Sisters materialized, you are continuously burdened with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing our wooden wristband. Here you doing all the Seven Sisters will be pretty tough, as if asking a lot of Ange all of a sudden. Thank you, Secretary, but this is training to become a witch. I want to see how far I can go. 7 of them certainly do seem boisterous, but even if this is for training, having them with me will surely distract me from my loneliness at least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but wanted to give it a shot. Don't overdo it if it gets tough, okay? And everyone, if it looks tough for Ange, should take it easy. Certainly. Get it, everyone? Yeah, Sony-sama. Well then, Ange-sama, for now, leave the Seven Sisters of Purgatory will become your furniture. Lady Mariah, if you would. Yeah, so Ange, we can start? Sure, I'm a little nervous. This might be tough all of a sudden. If you feel like you're getting a headache, lower your magic power immediately. Okay, I'll move the source of magic power over to Ange. In an instant, inside my head felt very heavy. It's tough. Until the inside of my head had only been used for myself, it was almost like it was now being used for 7 other people. If they just stood there and blinked once or let out a single sigh, that would put a strong pressure on my head. Lady Mariah, my apologies, but perhaps the burden from all 7 sisters at once might be too great after all. I'm okay. Heck. No, it won't work after all. You're using all of your energy to materialize, and there's no point. The burden is such that you can't balance it with your everyday life. Anyway, this is a bit unrefined for a witch. That's why I said doing so many suddenly was impossible. Everyone erase yourselves for a bit. Right, it seems that'd be better to lower the number of people. Erase yourself. Me again? I'm opposed to the younger sister bullying, disappearing, starting from the top every once in a while. That would mean I'd disappear a second, alright? No. Don't make it a ruckus, that's more than Leviah need. That kind of disturbance will become a burden to Ange-sama. Saying, the 7 sisters started arguing over who should erase themselves first. The energy from that fight all became a burden and forcing Ange to bear an even greater headache. In the end, they decided to order with rock, paper, scissors, and 1, 2, 3 of them disappeared. But even at that level, Ange was still far from comfortable. In the end, once the 6 of them had erased themselves, I was able to finally calm my breathing. With my magical power, forget the 7 sisters, just one person is my limit. Jeez, this way is not the 7 sisters, but just me, right? You're a bit unreliable, Ange-sama. Mammon, who had won all the rock, paper, scissors matches and was permitted to remain until the end, grumbled. Mammon, you shouldn't say things like that. Ange is still just starting her training. Are you alright, Ange? Is your headache okay? Secretary stretched up his tiptoes, trying to pat Ange's head. Watching this, Mariah scratched her head, acknowledging that the sudden training had been too difficult. Maybe that was a little too much. I'd be perfectly fine with this much, though. The more friends you have, the more fun it is. Now I'm even more aware of how incredible you are, Oni-chan. Apparently, when one reaches a Mario Oni-chan's class, one can summon enough people to perform an orchestra. For a worship prince, that's awe-inspiring. Are you okay, Ange-sama? I'm sorry. It looks like summoning you is the most I can do. Well, I guess I'm okay with that. After all the 7 sisters, I get Ange-sama all to myself. What do you think, Ange-sama? If it's just me, will it be a burden for you? No, I think I'll be okay to manage you alone somehow. Great. Now please train a lot and cultivate your magic power a bunch. Just someday for sure, please bring the 7 sisters together and let us serve you. Promise? After confirming that for the time being, our own materialization wasn't causing any issues, Mammon immediately became cheery again and tried to make me promise to work harder. I see, that definitely fits with her being greed, but maybe you could also call it a positive attitude. Yes, I promise. I have to be able to at least do that much someday. Thank you, Ange-sama. I, Mammon of Greed, will surely serve you until that day. My headache finally abated, and I relaxed both hands, which had been clutching at my head. Then Mammon stuck out her head, helping me stand back up. Uriel, Mariah, anxious about that time. If we don't return to the room, we'll be scolded. Huh? Oh, I didn't expect the secretary to talk about the time I was brought back into reality. As though the light had disappeared, the vast world sunk into darkness, and I was in a tiny, tiny bathroom stall sitting on a toilet. When he changed, Grimoire was open on my lap. I looked at the clock. It was almost 20 o'clock, 20 p.m. I don't know. Time for lights out. If I show up late for the roll call before lights out, not only will things get pretty annoying, but it'll cause trouble for my roommates and floor mates. Couldn't care less about causing them trouble, but I don't want them messing with me later. My free time by myself is already over for today. I'll sleep, wake up tomorrow, we'll begin another long gray-colored day will repeat again. I closed the grimoire and rose from the toilet seat. After that time, Onichin appeared and spoke again. Hey, Hans, you're forgetting your training. Take Mammon with you. I forgot, and the moment I returned to reality, Mammon's materialization had stopped. One more time, I created a strong image of existence of Mammon in my mind. Sheesh, you're so mean, and somehow why do you erase me so suddenly? At this rate, you won't be able to call all 7 sisters easily. I'm sorry, you're careless. It's been incredibly long since I've materialized in the human world, so I'm interested in absolutely everything. I'm getting a bit excited. Where is this? St. Lucia Academy dormitory. This is a stall in the shared bathroom. Each room has its own bathroom, so no one comes in here. It's quiet and perfect for reading books. So in this dorm, you get to hide in a toilet stall even to read a book. Do they burn books or something? I have 2-person rooms, so my roommates is always there. Our relationship is gloomy, and it feels like I'm always getting ignored. The atmosphere is bad, so I really can't relax there. And as long as I'm not in there, she can do what she likes, call her friends over, and shut away. It's more convenient for them to do if I don't return until just before lights out. There's also a library, but there's a group that uses it as a meeting place and always talking behind my back, so I don't like to go there. During lunch, it's just the bushes behind the school building. During the night, it's the stall in the shared bathroom in the dorms. Those are the only hideaways where I can find peace. I opened the door to the stall and went out. I turned around and signaling with my eyes for Mammon to come with me. I didn't really get it, but I realized it'd be hard to call this place pleasant for you, Sama. Let's go out quickly. I hate the air here. Really? I think the air here is the most decent. When I left the bathroom and entered the corridor, because it was near lights out time, several kids who had gone to play in other rooms were dashing back to their own. When it came time for lights out, we had to change into uniform pajamas that we hated and called prison clothes. Run up in the hallway and go through the dorm leader's roll call. On the off chance that someone was late, we would take collective responsibility, and all the floor mates would have to undergo punishment in the form of volunteer work. As long as I avoided this, the girls would look at me coldly, but they wouldn't get in my way. That alone was enough for me. I looked at the passing kids and furnishing of the dorm with interest. Without paying her any particular attention, I hurried back to my room. And in front of my room was my roommate, who had already changed to present clothes, chatting with some kids in the room next door. When they noticed me hurrying back, the topic of their conversation noticeably changed. They lowered their voices, staring glances at me, acting like I didn't notice. Went to my room and changed. Then I hastily went out to the corridor. Everyone was already lined up. Hey, this is weird. I thought this was a school for rich girls. It's like a prison. It's stupid. You think so too? That's what I think. And unlike prison, you don't get out early for good behavior. After badmouthing the place, I noticed something. Having someone to listen to your complaints feels surprisingly good. Fortunately, Mammon's form can only be seen by her summoner, me. And of course, there was no need to speak out loud for this conversation. All I had to do was speak inside my mind so no one could listen in. Magic and the friends it creates might actually not be so bad. All these people are sheltered brats. Feels like they aren't even alive. Stop it. If you're seen by some chance, I'll be pretty bad, right? Humans without a fragment of hopes or dreams, or like a lump of anti-magic, there's no way they'll be able to see me. You lower life forms can even see. Are you okay being around so many humans with that magically resisting toxin? I'm fine as long as you continue to make me materialize, Sama. Although since you'll probably have to keep concentrating to materialize me, there's a chance you'll neglect your daily life. Look at that girl you're sharing a room with that's calling you, right? Oh. It was sure me and son, are you listening? About our weekly duty starting next week. She's probably trying to push a few more chores onto me. My roommate, who never even looked at me in the eye normally, was smiling at me unpleasantly. It'll be easier to have the weekly duty pushed onto me alone rather than doing it together with her. That's a small price to pay to have to continue to grow me non-stop. Even so, with a completely shameless excuse, she sidestepped the issue for some reason and insisted on flipping the situation around. And so I should have come forward and done it off my own initiative. One of the special traits of this academy is that it's full of girls who don't know how to ask a favor. That kid, she pisses me off. I would just love to gouge her right in her forehead. Yeah, I hope you do one of these days. Yeah, having a friend nearby all the time and complaining to me makes me happier than I thought it would. It really was lively with all these 7 sisters gathered together. I'm sure just watching them mess around will be a lot of fun. I hope to get enough magical power to summon all the 7 sisters at once and soon. So I'll train much more and finally summon the thing I really want to find. What is it you really want to summon? So I noticed my conversation with myself inside my head, asked about it blankly. I hesitated to talk about it and figured that there was no reason to hide and told her. My family, dad, mom, Oni-chan, shaming the souls of the dead, calling it resident of another world is summoning, but calling back the souls of the dead is resurrection, and they're completely different. Resurrection is supposed to be a very high level magic, I know. So much that even Marion and Chen can't do it at all, but that's the one thing I want to find for magic the most. I've been warned that's very difficult high level magic, so great that in the worst case I might not necessarily reach that point, even after training for my whole life. Furthermore, I have no vessel. A vessel is vital for making magic succeed, whether it's summoning or resurrection. Because I don't have that, magic that would already have been difficult is now hopeless. That's right, I have nothing to remember Dad or Mom by. However, by an extraordinary coincidence, I do have something to remember just Oni-chan by. That's this. That hair accessory with the pink jewel. What the hell I'd say, but it looks a little cheap for you, Ainge-san. Not long ago, without telling Dad, I went with Mom to meet Oni-chan, and we went to play at an amusement park. This is a prize from the crane game there. I know it's cheap, I realize that doesn't match my style, and I get that it's too childish. But his hair accessory is the only thing that makes me feel as though Battler Oni-chan is by my side. But glass case had been filled with plastic capsules packed with fun-looking things. It seemed that each capsule had some cute sister in it. The game was to grab those with the crane, but I was young and it was too hard for me. I tried several times, but I didn't even get close. Mom said that whatever was inside was probably cheap anyway. We didn't even know what it would get, so there's no point getting all upset over it. But whether it was been cheap or not wasn't the problem. The process of grabbing happiness with my own hands felt really important and sacred to me, so I wanted the cheap thing inside more than anything. Then Battler Oni-chan came over after finishing the game of shooting soldiers with a gun and tried to do it for me. With his arms that were longer than mine, Oni-chan grasped the happiness I couldn't reach. Oni-chan was really coordinated. It seems he often played with his friends at the arcades. After only one or two attempts, he grasped the thing on the other side of the glass with that crane that I hadn't been able to even touch, and threw it into the exit chute. When Oni-chan tossed me that capsule, I remember that he looked very, very reliable. For several days, I felt like opening the capsule would be a waste. Then one day, I finally opened it up, and what revealed itself inside was a pink jeweled hair accessory. Since that day, it's been a symbol for Oni-chan. Since I was young, I felt that having all four of us together, gathered, including Battler Oni-chan, was a precondition for a happy family. So I wanted Oni-chan and Dad to make up quickly. In my own way, I treated this hair accessory as a charm for bringing my whole family together. So I always used to wear it. I wanted to feel my reliable fun. I wanted full Oni-chan by my side all the time, and let him live in our house. But my memories of Oni-chan are very distant. I can't do it as easily as Marion Oni-chan created a secretary from a lion stuffed animal. One day I am surely possess high-level magic to revive the souls of the dead, and the only key, the only vessel that can make that successful is this. I see. I did feel an incredible magical power from that hair accessory. So that's what it was, magical power. There was a magical power in this thing Oni-chan gave me. Maybe I should say that it resides in you, Ainge-sama. Your strong desire to call your brother gives you magical power. Resurrection certainly is a high-level magic, but there could be no mistake that you're steadily and unconsciously climbing the stairs towards it. I'm glad. It's not scary someone other than myself acknowledge that. Your own effort is something that you can observe by yourself. In that sense, even though these words came from a shady demon girl who controls one of the 7 deadly sins, they made me very happy. While I can't guarantee that you'll obtain the resurrection magic power before your life is over, however, your power is always proportional to the height of the mountain you dare to climb. If you don't lose heart, I'm sure you'll revive even our former master Beatrice as a great witch someday. I wonder if I can become a great witch and revive Oni-chan and my family. The Witch of Resurrection, Lady Ange. Yeah, wonderful. Well, Witch of Resurrection is a very rare kind of witch. Having a master like that would make me pretty proud. Actually, I love for that to happen, because furniture's worth is also proportional to the class of its master. Please pass Beatrice Alma up and become appeared as a great witch. As a representative of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, I'll support you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. I thought that if a magical friend were to appear for me too, a cute kid like Secretary would be the best. Maybe this fifth sister of the shady Seven Sisters who controlled the 7 deadly sins was enough to calm my heart so much all by herself. Marion Oni-chan was probably known that since long ago. That's why she recommended the world of witches to me over and over again, and I kept on stubbornly rejecting her. I should have given her and started training as a witch sooner. A year for a child is worth 10 years for an old person, right? Now I found my past self, which only ever complained deplorable for wasting my precious time. Long after I turned off the lights and slipped into bed, Mama continued to talk to me alongside my pillow. I promise, one day for sure I'll develop a magical power that can summon the 7 sisters, and I'll let them a lively fun time. The 7 of them make a single whole. None can be left out. Family must be together. I must bring them together. My awareness began to return slowly, unable to stand and watching Aunt Rose and Mara Oni-chan's relationship. I ran away from Beatos and Oni-chan's game day and night. I've got to go back. I've got to go back, support Oni-chan, and quickly bring her back in this strange world of the witch's game. After all, as long as I'm here, I'm not allowed to call myself Ange. At the time, I felt someone's presence. When I turned around, I could see Mammon there. Gretel-sama, Beatrice-sama said that if you do not return soon, it will become a hindrance to the progression of the game. I beg that you return swiftly. Thank you. I'll go back now. Isn't it great? What is? That you were able to meet Battler Oni-chan. Is that sarcasm? Well, if that's how it sounds, feel free to call it that. I'm sorry, I should have taken it literally. Yeah, you're right. Even in this screwed up world, being able to meet Oni-chan makes me happy from the bottom of my heart. And you'll win against Beatrice for your Oni-chan's sake. Yes, Ken have been playing around in a world like this forever. It's about time for him to return home. That's why I came to call him. Please do your best you can, although I can't support you since my current master is Beatrice-sama. I know, until October 5th, 1986, you're Beatrice's furniture, and eventually you'll become my friend. But eventually you'll throw that friend away. After all, Mamamona, she bit her tongue, stuck as she clutched her chest. Apparently the rules apply to other people other than me as well. Are you okay? It's pretty painful. Excuse me, Gretel-sama. No, thank you. I'm glad I was able to meet Oni-chan. That's an answer to your first question. Well, let's go back. If we grumble too much, you'll get in trouble with your current master. Yes, I'm glad you understand. Well then, Mammon? Huh? I'm sure Mammon was about to say, well then, it's the way, but then she stopped as though the film had been torn off at that point. It looked like she suddenly froze. Then I noticed she wasn't the only thing that frozen. Even the air and the floating bits of dust had frozen in place in empty space. A world where it seemed even time had frozen, yes. It was like important that Birkenstell would appear, but that must be what's different somehow. Then I understood. It wasn't Birkenstell, it was the other witch. How are you feeling, Ange? Lamb, the Delta. The rule doesn't apply to you, do they? Of course not. Rules exist to bind others. What kind of idiot would bind themselves with them? Birkenstell is a witch who supports me, but this girl is different. With this witch supports Beatrice. In other words, she's been on the opposing side, but there is some kind of difference between her and Beatrice. Even compared to Birkenstell, there's something strange about Lamb Del Delta's existence. It's, how should I put it, maybe like she's being from a higher dimension. In any event, I was still unsure about how to deal with her. The only thing I was certain was that she was my enemy. Not just knowing that might be enough, but... So you have some business with me? Not really. When I listened in on your conversation, it started to get a bit interesting. I thought I'd let you hear something good. You're supposed to be my enemy. I can't think of a reason for you to tell me something that helped me. So the moment I start listening to you, I lose. Bye. See you next time. Don't misunderstand. My opponent is Byrne, not you. In other words, it's possible for me to be a topic that benefits both you and me. Sorry, but I don't feel like listening. Although I said that I probably won't be released from this frozen time until Lambda Delta is satisfied. This herself might be proof that she's in a higher dimension than me. I haven't been given the option of not listening to her. All I can do is try not to be shaken by anything she says and straight into my mental guard. She'll probably try to make me believe something disadvantageous to me, threatening me. Hee. There's no need to square off like that. I just came to resolve your misunderstanding. No, that's not quite it. I came to let you know about the lie Birkenstell told you. Birkenstell lied? Didn't Byrne make it sound like your big brother would come back if he defeated Beato? Who knows? I don't feel like talking with you. My brother coming home, I hadn't been promised anything that June-like. Getting just one person only, if I was lucky, to have been promised without very high hopes. But that's enough for me. After being promised an eternity of isolation, having a faint but still non-zero chance of like a shining beacon. And boy, that promise of Burns was a lie. If Byrne promised that, I'm sure that if you defeat Beato Battler, your parents will be released and will come back to you, and then there's no problem. Seriously? That kid is surprisingly cruel to think she deceived you, even though she knows. How are you saying I was deceived? Damn, I'm letting her take the initiative. But I won't be released until I land near to her, so it's not hard to hear her anyway. And when I realized I was falling into a trap, I urged her forwards. Well, here's it now. You're talking about the world of the game board? In that case, it's October 4th, 1986. That's right, so if you win against Beato, then on October 6th, when the typhoon is past, the people who are trapped on the island will return. On October 6th, 1986, that is, right? So what? How was your October 6th, 1986? You were at your relative's house, right? I've been there at the house of this only Sumadera and my mother trusted, Grandpa. We got a call when I was playing with the building blocks in it as a Tommy room. We got that call. After watching to make sure I remembered, Delta's laughed unpleasantly and spoke. Hey, on your October 6th, 1986, did Battler Oni-chan come home? Even though I didn't understand what she was saying, I noticed an unpleasant sweat seeping out all over my face. I don't get it. What is this witch saying? See, if you defeat Beto, Battler will certainly be released, and he'll probably return home to his home in 1986. After all, that's how it is, right? Battler was locked up from the 4th to the 5th of October in 1986. It's only natural that he returns the next day if you were able to be released, right? And you're a person from the year 1998. You're Ushimi Ange of the year 1998, where Battler did not return. You know what that means? What are you talking about? If my family come back on October 6th, wouldn't that be wonderful? I'd come home from Grandpa's house right away, and then we meet. Everyone would be happy. Yes, Ushimi Ange probably will be reunited with their family. The 6-year-old Ushimi Ange from 1986 would, right? Who am I, Ushimi Ange, an 18-year-old one? No, that's not it. You aren't Ushimi Ange. You're a witch's piece with that name. Strictly speaking, the name Ange Beatrice belongs to a completely different person. Know what that means? Don't I really don't get it anymore. Huh? Who am I? Huh? And that's why I think Byrne's cruel. No, I think she's a meanie, especially since it's not like she hasn't gone through the same thing herself. Am I being tricked somehow? Yeah, but please don't blame Byrne, okay? After all, depending on how you look at it, the kid isn't lying. If Beto is defeated, your family will be returned to the Ushimi Ange. But she probably didn't say that this Ushimi Ange would be you, right? Was it like that? But did Birkenstow say to me again? Your assistance is required. Your family needs it. Birkenstow started by saying that. Then I spoke. I saved them. Does that mean my family will come home? And how did Birkenstow answer that again? I cannot promise that. She didn't make me a promise. In exchange for accepting this fight, yes, that's what she said. In exchange, I will search for a fragment with the ideal world that you wish for. A world where your family comes home. Yeah, that's right. She didn't say anything more than that. She looked for it. She didn't say she'd find it. But I was prepared for that from the beginning, even though that child promised that as long as I didn't give up, there was a faint chance of it happening. And in the end, she said this: I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to search for you and bring you the happiest resolution among the possibilities you're capable of accepting. I know it was a tough bet from the very beginning. After all, I know family in 1998. Even just a small chance of a shaking absolute zero would be worth it. I was warned beforehand that even if I succeeded in my revenge, it might be wasted effort. So, yeah, there's no line in that part. Beto's game board is perfect. Even having you around makes a chance of Beto losing so slim that's doubtful you could even dream of it happening once in your life. In other words, your chance of winning is almost zero. That you could be regarded as infinitely close to zero. So Byrne could be forgiven for saying that part in such an invasive way. But I can say for sure that she was tricking you when she let you get your hopes up. After all, even if you could overcome astronomical odds and win, the person in your family will come back to you isn't you. It's the 6-year-old Ange that exists in 1986, the true Ushimi Ange, not you. Byrne will still probably go around the buildings and fragments searching for the best world for you, but she didn't tell you. So she planned on bringing it to you as a present, but wasn't able to find it. She did. Your family is starting to nurse, aren't you? No reward is prepared for you in this battle. No, to the contrary, when Smash Beto's game board will disappear, then you as a piece will disappear. As far as go you're capable of accepting is completely no. I'll proclaim it by my name. By the name of the witch of certainty, Lambda Delta, I proclaim that it certainly doesn't exist. That can't be. That's what Byrne lied about, or I call it speaking in riddles. She made you misunderstand. I think you could be saved. I came to clear with that up. In other words, no matter how hard I fight, no matter how hard I pursue victory, my family won't come back to me. Right, they won't come back with certainty. The witch of certainty says it's certainty. Isn't it incredible? Several ancient kings have dedicated historical buildings to me because they wanted to give me to give them certainty. And here I am, graciously giving it to you as a present. And isn't this really incredible, cute, and marvelous? But I have a single good proposition for you. Damn, I'm getting completely overwhelmed. I knew I shouldn't have listened, and now I'm starting to be overwhelmed by this with Lambda Delta. My opponent is Byrne, not you. Didn't I just say it's possible for the two of us to talk about something that benefits us both? I said that from the beginning, so listen to me. You have no choice. Okay, I'll listen. I'll gotta listen, alright? I finally lost control over my emotions that exploded from the inside. I don't have a clue anymore. I believe what I was Ange, but at some point I stopped being Ange. That's right, I am Ange, not Ange. Who am I? I'm not my parents' child, nor my brother's also serves as a piece in the witch's game. There's no need to be pessimistic. I mean, think about it, okay? Right now you're together with Battler Oni-chan. While it's true that you can't tell him your name, at least your position as its ally in a game where he battles a witch and you're able to be with her for all eternity. You know what it means? I can't stand it, but I understand. In other words, as long as Oni-chan keeps getting in a tie in this game, it will continue forever. Continuing to tie means continuing the game for eternity. And that means that can remain with Oni-chan as a piece, but if Oni-chan wins or loses and certain closes on the game, you as a piece will disappear. How do you define happiness for a game piece? Getting used by spam on playing the game. The more you won't fight. You won't find it when the game's shut and clouds are gathering dust, right? In the past, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory said it as well. Furniture's happiness comes from being used, not being stored away. That's right, I am now the witch's furniture. Let's change things around a bit. To be honest, I want this game to continue in a tie for all eternity. An unending game is an eternal cage, an absolutely closed room that never opens for all time, and that flying make burn and surrender. You know, Obito does want to win a bit victory by making battlers surrender, but that's actually a problem for me. After all, if the game ends, the closed room will fall apart, so go easy on Battler a bit to stop him from surrendering. Don't worry, okay? When Battler's about to surrender, I'll become his ally. But you know, I get the feeling that Obito is following Fitton's starting to realize, I think she's starting to realize that her victory won't come for all eternity in this game. But she's, of course, in the switch. Obito's stupid, so she optimistically thinks that even so, she'll surely win eventually. It's like she just has to repeat the game on and on endlessly. Of course, pretty much all belongs to her morons. In this game of witches, there will never be a winner, blah, blah, something. I won't let her win, and I won't let her lose with certainty. Burn noticed that, so she looked for the most powerful piece for breaking that deadlock through UN to make this game end, you see. To make this game end, what's the piece's role when the game ends? I'll state it clearly. Your existence is a contradiction. Your reason for existing is to bury yourself in the darkness and disappear. My goal is to defeat Bito and release my captive family, and yet even if I succeed, I won't be rewarded. You cannot lose, and you won't be rewarded if you win. So I brought you a third choice, and that choice will make our interests coincide, continuing the tie for all eternity. Yes, as long as the tie continues forever, this world will not crumble. What is this world? It's a world of a game with the witch, a world where Bito and Battler fight for all eternity, and at the same time, it's a world where you get to be with Battler for all eternity. My head was spinning. That confusion became a hot liquid, and I felt it pouring from my eyes. It was so hot that I felt like it burned my face. Alright. And to Beatrice, since Birkenstell's goals in the game and in the world where Battler, you and Battler can interact, why should you be her ally? That kid tricked you, see? She made it look like he might be saved if he became her piece, but I won't deceive you there. So I'll say it, Ange, become my chess piece. Unlike Burn, I won't offer you rewards based on lies that certainly will never be granted. As long as you become my piece and help me so that this world certainly never ends. But then with certainty, I will swear upon my name that this world will certainly continue. That's not all. I'll add on a bonus that will bind you. I'll clear it away for you. Well, of course, I'll only do it after you sworn to become a piece, okay? In my own throat, there was a thick, low gulping sound. I shouldn't listen. If I hadn't listened, I could have remained an innocent little sister praying for my brother's victory. But I might be different now. I might have been degraded into a witch's furniture, one that cares about nothing but being on the chance side. I'm not telling you to betray your brother, okay? If it's like Battler's gonna lose, you could save him with all you've got. On the other hand, when Battler's closing on Bito too much, I want you to hold back a little. That's all I'm asking, alright? Don't worry, there's no need to actually betray Battler. Battler can't win against Bito alone. That's why Burn threw you in, you see. As long as you don't lend a hand, Battler will be unable to win against Bito for all eternity. See, it's really simple, isn't it? Well, guys, I think I'm going to be ending the video here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all later.